Right now, the snow continues to fall. We'll get an update on road conditions and tell you about the hours ahead and what things might look like when you wake up.
And the Dane County Sheriff describes the brutality of a homicide earlier this week in Blue Mounds as he reaches out to the public for help with that investigation. And after an investigation that went back 40 years, sexual abuse allegations against a former priest in the Madison diocese are deemed credible.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thank you for joining us. The snow is still coming down tonight, making for a nice night to just stay in.
And now the main concern right now is not so much how much snow we're going to get, but the wind that is blowing that snow around out there. We have team coverage. Meteorologist Dana Fulton in the Weather Center tracking the storm's path, and Amanda Quintana on the backyard patio keeping an eye on our road conditions tonight.
Well, let's start with Dana with the latest developments on the storm.
Snow, of course, still falling for most of southern Wisconsin right now. It's been the scene for the last several hours looking at our Doppler radar. There's actually a pretty heavy band that's starting to push into the Madison area and Janesville right now, so the snowfall picking up a little bit yet again before it starts to back off closer to some flurries. Now, we do have a winter weather advisory in effect for tonight, an alert day also in for tonight and tomorrow. As the snow continues into your Saturday morning, the visibility outside likely going to be reduced significantly. So a quick look at what you're going to be waking up to. For early Saturday morning, there'll be some freezing rain along the Illinois-Wisconsin state line. The snow continues until about 8 o'clock. So as you're still waking up, the snow coming down, it's not until noon that the snow really starts to wrap on up. And that's when we're going to have the opportunity to get things cleaned up and ready to go for the second half of the weekend. Roads today have been a little bit of a mess. Our Amanda Quintana spent a lot of time today out on the roads, has a closer look right now at how things are looking out there currently. Amanda?
Yes, Dana, definitely a hectic day on the roads. I was out on the roads tonight at about 5 o'clock, so bad timing, lots of traffic. It took us an hour to get from Monona to Middleton on the Beltline, and we were going just 10 miles an hour that whole time. Of course, there are not as many people on the roads right now as there were at 5 o'clock when there was heavy traffic, but still there is a lot of snow on the roads right now. Less people on the roads means that the snow is able to cover the roads a little more, and those roads aren't as warm because the cars aren't on there, so that leads to the freezing on the road. So it is getting worse out there with all the snow on the roads, and on top of that is the blowing snow. What's really difficult on the Beltline when you're out there is that you can't really see the lane that you're in once that snow is on there. Plus, the blowing snow makes for really poor visibility out there. So this is going to continue through the night, Dana. And of course, it's going to be a hectic night until the morning.
All right, Dana Fulton and Amanda Quintana reporting from the backyard patio. Also, we want to give a shout out to photojournalist Jim Abraham out there shooting on our roads tonight on the west side as well. Thanks to all of you.
The city of Madison says all 34 plow trucks will be working the duration of the storm, which is expected to last into tomorrow. The Streets Division does not plow all streets until the storm is at or near its end, so side streets will be especially slick tonight. Getting a look outside of Madison, there have been a number of reported crashes and slide-offs. Most main thoroughfares are listed as snow-covered on Wisconsin's 511 website. I-90 is listed as ice-covered.
Now today we're also looking at just how much these snowstorms cost the city of Madison in order to keep the roads in the best shape possible. In Madison, about $6.5 million in this year's budget is set aside for snow and ice control. That includes staffing, supplies, and equipment for roughly 5.5 events of at least 3 inches of snow. So just plowing for something like what we're expecting this weekend costs about $230,000, with every overtime shift for plow drivers and managers being an additional $24,000. Now, as the snow continues to fall, be sure to download our Channel 3000 First Alert Weather and Traffic app. It is free, and it has the latest forecast put together by the News 3 Now meteorologists, interactive radars, up-to-the-minute traffic conditions. Just search Channel 3000 in your app store of choice.
Dane County Sheriff Dave Mahoney is calling the murder of a runner in Blue Mounds this week extremely brutal and calculated. The sheriff's office reopened the road today where the victim's body was found on Wednesday. Mahoney said he has a large number of detectives on the case, but they need help from the public. He said he'd rather get the same tip 100 times than have someone not call. The victim has been identified as 26-year-old Nicholas Day. His family said he was an amazing father and a kind soul who would help anyone who needed it. His friend set up a GoFundMe page to raise money to help the family cover funeral costs, which has raised thousands. We have a link to that on our website, channel3000.com.
Catholic Diocese of Madison has added another name to its list of priests credibly accused of sexual abuse. This after investigators went back more than 40 years to verify an accuser's story. Last year, the diocese announced that it was taking a deep dive into its history to find every priest who had a credible accusation against them. They posted a list of those priests online, and when they did, someone called to let them know they were missing someone, Patrick Doherty. He has not served since 1993. This announcement today brings the total list in the history of the diocese to 9.
That one man's sins is affecting other priests' lives is extremely sad, and the public's not to blame for that. It's the evil perpetrated by a priest, anywhere.
Well, the only outstanding case the diocese has left to investigate is that of William Nolan. Now, he was acquitted, you'll recall, by a jury on these accusations last year. The church put a hold on its investigation while that was going on, but they have since resumed work. They said to expect announcements on that next month.
Beloit School Board president is resigning. Pamela Charles made the announcement through a Facebook post saying the district needs to move on and focus on healing during another administrative transition. Her decision comes after the board approved the resignation of Superintendent Dr. Stanley Monroe last night. A formal complaint was filed against him, alleging he intimidated staff. The state Senate plans to pass just one of 8 bills designed to fight homelessness in Wisconsin. The bipartisan package was approved by the Assembly this past summer, but has run into trouble among some conservative senators concerned about the cost. Governor Evers had urged the Senate to give final approval before winter so services could kick in before the cold and snow set in. The bill up for approval next week would increase funding for a grant program that provides funding for homeless shelters. One person was killed and a second injured after an avalanche hit a popular ski resort in Northern California. The Placer County Sheriff's Department says the avalanche happened around 10 o'clock this morning at the Alpine Meadows ski area. A few hours later, the department confirmed the death and does not believe there are any additional victims.
4 people and a pet are dead after an overnight house fire in Oconto, north of Green Bay. Crews first responded about 3 a.m. And while they were putting out the flames, they found the bodies inside. Their identities have not been released yet. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. The Pentagon announcing new restrictions on international military students today undergoing training here in the U.S. The new procedures will ban them from possessing firearms following December's deadly attack that was carried out by a Saudi Air Force officer at a naval air station in Florida that killed 3 American sailors. Among other new rules, trainees will also be restricted in terms of how far they can travel away from their training location during their downtime. 4 California teachers are suing Delta Airlines after that jet dumped fuel on their school earlier this week. The teachers say they were coated in jet fuel and ingested some of it as they scrambled to help the students. The Los Angeles County Fire Department says at least 60 people were treated after the fuel hit 5 elementary schools and 1 high school on Tuesday. Federal authorities say the pilots of Flight 89 did not ask for approval to release that fuel.
A jury has been selected in the New York case against Harvey Weinstein. 12 jurors, 7 men and 5 women, were chosen along with 3 alternates. The disgraced Hollywood producer has been charged with 5 felony counts, including rape and predatory sexual assault, based on claims by 2 women. He has denied wrongdoing. Opening arguments are expected to begin next week. President Trump held a ceremony for the national champions Louisiana State University football team at the White House today. The undefeated LSU Tigers beat the Clemson Tigers on Monday. The team's quarterback and Heisman Trophy winner Joe Burrow gave President Trump a jersey. Following the ceremony, the president invited the team to the Oval Office. We are hearing tonight from Senator Tammy Baldwin as she prepares for the upcoming impeachment trial in the Senate.
We're anxious to have a full, fair, and honest trial. And as you know, there's still an ongoing dispute about whether there will be any witnesses or any opportunities to view documentary evidence. And frankly, I don't know how it can be a full, fair, and honest trial unless we get those opportunities.
The impeachment trial will resume next week, Tuesday, but before opening arguments can start, senators must still finalize the rules.
Security officials in Milwaukee say they are ahead of schedule in security preparations for the upcoming Democratic National Convention this summer. Today, they announced a security footprint. It's not a hard security perimeter, but it'll be an area of concentration for the various security agencies involved. And within this footprint, Milwaukee Police Chief Alfonso Morales says you should expect similar plans to when the president visited UW-Milwaukee's Panther Arena earlier this week. Dane County Executive Joe Parisi and Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway have named Ada Deer and Kenneth R. Cole this year's recipients of the Martin Luther King Jr. Humanitarian Awards. Deer led a grassroots movement of the Menominee people that resulted in an historic reversal of unjust federal policy and restored tribal recognition back in 1971. She became the first Native American woman to win the nomination of a major political party for Congress. Cole will receive the Emerging Leaders Award. That's for his work to bring access, equity, and inclusion to underrepresented students at UW-Madison. Still to come at 10, the latest on tonight's storm, when it'll come to an end, and how much more snow we can expect.
But first, we're going live to somewhere it isn't snowing. Our Adam Dexter and Melissa Kim have team coverage from San Francisco for the NFC Championship game next.
For consistent, reliable storm tracking, watch First Alert Weather.
It is quite a snowy night, and it's going to turn into a very snowy start to our Saturday. This darker blue that we have right here, usually it's easier when we're talking about rain to see where the heavier rain is. When it comes to the snow, it's the darker blue spots right around Madison, stretching just northeast of Janesville now into parts of Jefferson County. And it looks like starting to enter into part of Greene County. We have some heavier snow coming on down. Behind this, though, we start to get to the back half, a little bit of a break, some lighter snow coming on through, flurries at times, and even some pauses in the snow. Winter weather advisory is still in effect for all of southern Wisconsin through Saturday morning, and even after the snow starts to taper off, as it's going to be very windy outside later on Saturday afternoon. So we're expecting the cleanup to be a little bit of an effort for Saturday. Looking at our future track, notice the snow continues, of course, through midnight with some breaks and light snow moments in there. Even at 3-4 o'clock, it seems likely that the opportunity for any freezing mix or light snow or mixed precipitation to come on through is really backing on off. By 8-9 o'clock, it is still snow coming on down. It's not really until after 12 o'clock into the afternoon that we start to get that full break. Mostly cloudy skies expected later in the day. A big shift in our wind direction is going to bring colder air in and really windy conditions for later on. Coming in from the northwest, we are expecting wind gusts tomorrow afternoon into Sunday morning to pick up into the 30s. Some areas might even see wind gusts closer to 40 miles per hour. Now, for Saturday night, we keep mostly cloudy skies, but by Sunday, we are expecting partly sunny skies, a little bit of sunshine to come through for the second half of your weekend. Don't let the sun deceive you, though. It's going to be a little cold outside for the second half of the weekend. Snow accumulation total, still really confident in these numbers. 4 to 6 inches expected for Madison areas north. South of Madison will be just a little less. And then well to our north, we're in that 6 to 7 inch. Some isolated areas getting a little bit more, but that's up towards Green Bay. Right now on our patio, we have about 2.5 inches, and it really seems pretty steady that we're going to land close to that 5-inch range around Madison. Now, wind gusts for early on Saturday back off just a little bit. We'll see them close to 10 miles an hour, but later in the afternoon, the wind really picks up yet again. So blowing and drifting snow is going to be a concern after the snow stops. Gusts for later in the day on Saturday are going to be in the mid-30s consistently. Some isolated spots, again, might pick up just a little bit more. Now, after we get through the windy Saturday and the cleanup on Saturday, we're expecting a very cold Sunday. Wind chills for early Sunday morning are going to fall well below zero in that 15 to 20 degrees below zero range. Some isolated areas, of course, could see those wind chills drop a little more. And this is the picture not just for Sunday, also for Monday and Tuesday. So we have a cold second half of the weekend and a cold start to next week. Temperatures for tomorrow will be in the low 30s early in the day. We'll hit 32 right around 9-10 o'clock. And we are expecting those temperatures to just fall through the afternoon, a very cold afternoon ahead. It's going to get a little windy again. As you just saw, the wind gusts will pick on up. We'll see those wind gusts continue throughout Saturday night and into early Sunday morning. So we have an alert day in the forecast still for Saturday. Even once the snow stops, it's still just going to be a little messy on our roads. For Sunday, colder air moves on in. Partly sunny skies expected for Sunday into the start of next week. Notice for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we'll start the day off with temperatures below zero. Wind chills, again, in that 15 to 25 degree below zero range. Our next opportunity for a little rain snow mix will build in for the second half of the week, with temperatures starting to rebound a little closer to average near 30 on Wednesday and in the mid-30s for Thursday and Friday. That's a quick look at your forecast.
The Green Bay Packers are just 2 days away from their chance to play for the Super Bowl.
While the lucky few make their way out west for the game, Adam Duxter explains why some Packer fans really don't have to travel very far at all. Adam?
Well, Eric and Charlotte, it's important to remember that Packer fans don't just live in Wisconsin. They live all over the world, even right here in their opponent's backyard.
The story of how the Hard Rock Club became San Francisco's Packers bar started at another bar with another familiar team.
How I think the alumni from Wisconsin Badgers came in there about 8 to 10 years ago and asked if they could be part of their bar.
2 years ago, they approached Hard Rock about extending the Wisconsin welcome.
But the city has so many bars for every team almost. And you would think everyone's like all $40 just for the city, but no, it's all, everybody's welcome.
Manager Drew Pedersen didn't know how quickly things would catch on for the green and gold.
We initially thought we'd get at least 10, 20, but it's been a good strong 20, 30 every weekend for the games.
But this place knows the key to a Packer heart.
We do free brats and Sundays for them. We'll do a little Wisconsin old fashioned for them if they'd like.
Now, maybe the biggest game in recent Packer memory. And the opponent right in town.
It's a nice rivalry in here. People are screaming and hollering at the TV. 49er fans are jumping up and down, but most of the Packers are kind of laid back. But when it happens big, they're all over it.
But regardless of the result, Pedersen says he's confident the Packers fans will keep coming back season after season.
I feel they're very genuine, very happy, loving, good people.
Now, Pedersen says this is obviously going to be the biggest weekend yet for the Hard Rock Club, and that means more brats and more old fashions. But I think we found the only place in California that's going to be cheering at the same time the bars in Wisconsin are cheering this weekend. But as for that game, we've got a lot to break down, nuts and bolts in strategy, and Melissa Kim will do all of that later on in sports.
Those Packer bars, they are everywhere, and Adam Duxter found one tonight. Beautiful night there in the Bay Area. Adam Duxter reporting live from San Francisco. Adam, thank you. And be sure to stay with News 3 Now all weekend for your most complete NFC Championship coverage. Adam and Melissa Kim will be bringing you the latest from the Bay Area.
So this is one of those situations you hear about and ask yourself, what would I do if that happened to me? Howard Kirby likes to shop at the Habitat for Humanity store in Owasso, Michigan. Well, last month he purchased a couch for his man cave, but last weekend he made a shocking discovery. It was filled with more than $43,000 in cash. Kirby said he didn't feel right keeping it, so he reached out to the store to find out who had donated that couch. Well, turns out it was Kim Fouth Newberry. The couch originally belonged to her grandfather, and he died last year.
I've heard it done so many other times, and I always thought, what would I do if that ever happened? Now I know, and it makes me feel good.
All of the money was returned, and Kirby says an attorney told him he had no obligation to give the money back, but he felt he had to morally.
Man, he's a good dude.
That's a very good dude.
Better man than I, I'll tell you. Packers receiver Davante Adams, he wants to play the role of hometown hero this weekend. We'll catch up with his high school coach. That's next. Stay with us.
2004, that's the last time the Badgers beat the Spartans at Michigan State. Now, Big Ten road teams were a combined 6-35 in conference road games entering play tonight. Wisconsin owned 2 of those wins, trying to make it 3 tonight at the Breslin Center. Well, Wisconsin only hit 9 of 31 in the first half. Short range, Micah Potter flushes, but the Badgers are down 15 at the break. Wisconsin trying to make a run. Demetric Trice hits the jumper to cut the lead to single digits. Next possession, Nate Reavers. He had 19 points. Buries the triple, part of a 13-0 run, but the Spartans just were up by too much. Rocket Watts. Love the name, love the dribbling. Hits the step back 3. Spartans win 67-55. The Badgers drop to 4-3 in conference play. Number 4, Wisconsin wrestling hosting number 3, Ohio State. You think Chris Bono gets into these matches? Yeah, a little bit. Seth Gross, ranked number 1 in the country at 133. In a lock, gets himself unlocked, 2 points, and wins easily by decision. Heavyweight division, Trent Hilger. They call him Thor, and this is why. Because he ragdolls people. 2-point takedown of Gary Traub. He wins by decision, but the Buckeyes win the duel 24-13. Wisconsin hockey hosting number 20 Michigan State, who swept them early in December. Second period, Jared Rosberg. The wrister, Tommy Apap. Right place, right time. He deflects at home. Spartans roll 4-0 the final. Wisconsin drops to 3-9-1-1 in conference play.
And the Spartans take a 1-0 lead.
We're about 48 hours from knowing if the Packers are going to the Super Bowl or if they're watching from home. Now, the Bay Area is home for some Packers players. Melissa Kim joins us after catching up with the Packers' best pass catchers coach. Good evening, Melissa.
Okay. Yeah, hey there, Kevin. You know, there's something in the water around here at Palo Alto High School because they've got some elite guys here. And as their head coach told me, it's not just good water, it's the best water. And Devontae Adams, he definitely set up a career for himself here playing, started playing football way later than his teammates, but that doesn't mean that he was still very good while he was here. The halls of Palo Alto High School are dotted with names you might recognize: Jim Harbaugh, Jock Peterson, Jeremy Lin, and Davante Adams.
It's unbelievable.
And he didn't even play football until his junior year of high school.
Yeah, he just got better and better. He hit the weight room real hard his senior year, got his grades up. He did all the things he was supposed to do.
But boy, was he talented.
He started figuring out that he's pretty good at it, and we're successful. That always helps.
And he wasn't just a solid receiver. He shined on other parts of the field too.
He was dependable. We could work. We could do different defenses because he understood it. He's a smart kid. He understood what we were trying to do, and what the other team was trying to do to us. So he was a good defensive back.
Now, Coach Hansen, he is a Palo Alto native, so we asked him, who are you going to be cheering for come Sunday? He wouldn't give us a team, Kevin. All he would say is, I'm cheering for Davante to make it to a Super Bowl. Back to you.
Thank you very much. He said, he was a great defensive back in high school. I don't think he'll be playing two ways.
I hope not.
So you better not be. They'll be in trouble if he does. Yeah,
Did that guy look like a high school football coach?
He looks like if you said draw a picture of a high school football coach who churns out NFL players, you would draw Earl Hansen.
That guy.
No question.
Earl Hansen.
Yeah.
Sounds like
absolutely.
One too. All right, Dana, still busy out there.
Still very, very busy. We have snow coming down right now. It's going to continue into early on Saturday. So an alert day is in the forecast for Saturday. Snow early, and then once it tapers off, it's going to be very windy and cold outside. So it's going to take some time to get things cleaned up. Heading into Sunday and the start of your work week, it is going to stay cold. Temperatures in the afternoon will be in the teens, overnight lows in the single digits, if not dropping below zero, with wind chills in the 15 to 25 below range for Monday and Tuesday morning.
All right, be safe out there. Thanks for joining us.
Do something good. Have a great weekend and go Pack.